Hi, so welcome back to my junk journal series. I am going to show you now how I decorated the cover of my junk journal. The actual video of doing this was over 2 hours long, but that did include about 10 minutes of me showing you all the bits and pieces that I had that I've been hoarding for years. So I've cut that out. I thought I might do a haul video separately if you're interested. It's still quite long, so I've split it into parts. So this is part one, and in part one it's the planning stage of sort of how I picked out all these bits to go on and kind of pieced it together. And then part two is sort of the distressing and sticking it down. At this stage, I'm still editing the video that I think it's going to be two-parter, but it might end up being a three-parter. Okay, so but I'm going to publish them all at the same time, so that you don't have to wait a week in between. But I am doing them into smaller segments, because who's got 2 hours to sit and watch YouTube videos, really? Okay, so just make it easier for you to find, and it'll all be in the playlist of my junk journal. Okay, so hope you enjoy it. Hi, I've decided I'm going to do my cover because I want to start this series, and I thought it's going to take too long if I decide to decorate all the pages, film them all, and then start it. So I thought I'll get the cover done, and then I'll be showing it sort of in its completed state without fully decorating, and then I'll decorate with you. That's what I thought. So here we go. So what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to make something separately to then put on, and then I think I know how I'm going to fasten it. I've watched a few videos on different ideas, and I think I'm going to go for one where I'm going to have ribbon or lace tied round, but I have a loop there, and I've got a scissor charm. Got quite a large, sort of an antique, brassy sort of looking scissor that's about that big, and that's in my head for doing. Right, so I was just reminding myself of how big the cover is, and it's 9 inches by 6 basically. I want to work on something a little bit smaller than that, so I might give myself an inch at the top and the bottom, so we'll make it 7 inches and then do half an inch from each side, maybe. So I might go 7 by 5 and see what that brings me. And I was wondering about if there was any paper in here that I would use, one of the biggest sheets maybe, that I might like. Quite like the look of that one. Quite thin. Might go for that one. And I was thinking about my punch around the corner Martha Stewart thing. Actually, that's quite nice. That would take the punch around the corner probably quite well. Got a nice texture. Might do that. So I'll trim it down to 7 by 5. Well, that might be 7 that way already. Near enough, so we'll go 5 on this way, and then I would be able to use it better use of the so I'm cutting that down to 7 by 5. How does that look? That looks like you haven't cut it straight, Jess. That's what it looks like. Might not have been straight at the top. No, I think it was just me. Oh well. Doesn't have to be precise. I watch some people's videos and they well, they don't use a trimmer, they just like go by eye when they're cutting a straight line. Not something that I'm really sort of used to sort of doing. Right, we'll have that. I'm trying to remember how I did this punch around the corner, and I've got a feeling you had to have it certain sizes, so we will just see. I know you kind of matched that up there with that mark there. So we'll join it up. I'm not bothered about any bits that might rip, because it's shabby chic. That's worked fairly well, quite like that. Snip those bits off, and I will go and ink round the edges when I'm done. So let's see if we get to the other end quite nicely, because that's working quite well. I'm not sure if that's too far away in that corner. It is slightly, but it'll be fine. I'll probably put some ribbon or something around that, you never notice. I do remember somewhere, I think I've actually written down what sizes the pieces of paper have to be for the corners to line up. But I don't think we're doing bad. There we go. Oh, we've managed to get it at the opposite corners. I'll stick a flower on it, or a butterfly. There we go. So we've got little bits just to snip off. I think that gives us quite a nice little frame there. Get rid of some of this. So we've got a bit of a frame going on there. I will of course distress. Got bits of, never really been a lacy sort of person, but when it comes to shabby chic, I quite like it. It's quite good. Now where's that lock and keys? Because I quite like the idea of these. Quite like that. It's come with its own brad, although I do know where my brads are. Not that I need that brad, but I do need it for... So I think that'll be quite nice to go with me fastening. And then I think I might use that lock there. To go there. I'm going to use both these brads on it to attach it. And if I go through the entire cover, I'll have to cover it up on the other side with something. But I do like that as an idea. And then that will be hanging down. Yep, coming together. I've got this from the other day, or that one. I'm not sure that this one's long enough. I quite like that one. So what I wanted to do was have a loop here. And then it would go around. And then I'd tie that onto there. And then it would poke down through the loop. And then depending on how it grew, it might just be long enough actually. So if that went through there and that had a thing through there, doesn't give it too much room to grow, but it actually has got quite a bit of room to grow. So that could potentially be it. And if it doesn't work, I can change it to this. So let's get back to this. It's this packet here. I was going to see if there was something in here. I kind of want a nice little sentiment just for you forever. What's that one at the back say? Romance. That don't really fit. That don't really fit with what I want to say. Forever? Well, I guess it's memories forever, isn't it? It's got a key on it. I might use that one. Got some of these flowers. I want some different paper to go on there as well. That could layer up quite nicely. Maybe put that on the back as well. So I might antique that up. And I might take a bit of this as well. I've got a ruler somewhere that rips and gives me a ripped looking edge. I'm not quite sure where it is. I'll just have to rip it how I want it. So I'm just going to rip. I often wet it first when I'm ripping so that I've got slight control. but I'm not, as you can see, doing that right now. Going to trim that. I may decide not to use this. And I was deciding whether or not I was going to put something over the edge there, which I might do, and I've got something that I think might sort of go on there quite well, and then I could just got some brads to go in the middle of these. And then we could like make it all, ink it all up. I've got some really nice brads with gems in that could go in there, and I think we need a book page. I might look for a particular word, but I think that is coming along how I quite like it. So I've got a roll of this. I think these were used in vertical blinds. I think that's what this must be. It's quite thick. Got this from a scrap store, and so I did think that this might be able to go around the spine to sort of cover it up. So I thought that would be quite cool. And then I can come in with or maybe one of those. That was my idea, wasn't it? There it is. Sort of edge it with this. So yeah, I think that might be what we're going to do. So we'll cut this to the length we want it. And then that covers up my ties as well. So it would go around there, add some strength to the spine, and it doesn't come over the sides very much. And it's whether or not I want a little bit more over the back, and I can put less over the front, because I can edge that with this, or where's that pinkier one? Or this, I could put some of this on the edge. So it doesn't matter so much on the front where it's coming, because that'll be on the edge of it. And then that will all be on the front there. And then the lace that's tying round will go underneath this. I think that'll be quite nice. Right, let's get started then, shall we? Okay, so that's how I got all the bits together. So now we'll get on with part 2, where we start doing all the sort of dyeing and sticking it down. Okay, see you in the next one.